Patriotism is when love of your own people comes first. Nationalism, when hate for people other than your own comes first. How can anyone govern a nation that has 246 different kinds of cheese? Always choose the hardest way. On it, you will not find opponents. Nothing more enhances authority than silence. It is the crowning virtue of the strong, the refugee of the weak, the modesty of the weak, the modesty of the proud, the pride of the humble, the prudence of the wise, and the sense of fools. To speak is to dissipate one's strength, whereas what action demands is concentration. Silence is a necessary preliminary to the ordering of one's thoughts. I have come to the conclusion that politics are too serious a matter to be left to the politicians. Silence is the ultimate weapon of power. In politics, it is necessary either to betray one's country or the electorate. I prefer to betray the electorate. The graveyards are full of indispensable men. Deliberation is the work of many men. Action of one alone. He who laughs last didn't get the joke. You have to be fast on your feet and adaptive, or else a strategy is useless. War stirs in men's hearts the mud of their worst instincts. It puts a premium on violence, nourishes hatred, and gives free rein to cupidity. It crushes the weak, exalts the unworthy, and bolsters tyranny. Time and time again, it has destroyed all ordered living, devastated hope, and put the prophets to death. Belgium is a country invented by the British to annoy the French. When I am right, I get angry. Churchill gets angry when he is wrong. We are angry at each other much of the time. You may be sure that the Americans will commit all the stupidities they can think of, plus some that are beyond imagination. We may go to the moon, but that's not very far. The greatest distance we have to cover still lies within us. History does not teach fatalism. There are moments when the will of a handful of free men breaks through determinism and opens up new roads. It will not be any European statesman who will unite European statesmen who will unite Europe. Europe will be united by the Chinese. A man of character finds a special attractiveness in difficulty, since it is only by coming to grips with difficulty that he can realize his potentialities. Don't think of yourself as indispensable or infallible. The cemeteries of the world are full of indispensable men. You start out giving your hat, then you give your coat, then your shirt, then your skin, and finally your soul. France cannot be France without greatness. Since a politician never believes what he says, he is quite surprised to be taken at his word. The Jews remain what they have been at all times, an elite people, self-confident and domineering. Only by coming to grips with difficulty can you realize your full potential. No country without an atom bomb could properly consider itself independent. Politics, when it is an art and a service, not an exploitation, is about acting for an ideal through realities. The leader is always alone before bad fates. Don't ask me who's influenced me. A lion is made up of the lambs he's digested, and I've been reading all my life. The perfection preached in the Gospels. Never yet built an empire. Every man of action has a strong dose of egotism, pride, hardness, and cunning. In the tumult of men and events, solitude was my temptation. Now it is my friend. What other satisfaction can be sought once you have confronted history? There can be no prestige without mystery, for familiarity breeds contempt. Greatness is a road leading towards the unknown. Yes, it is Europe, from the Atlantic to the Urals. It is Europe. It is the whole of Europe that will decide the fate of the world. To govern is always to choose among disadvantages. Difficulty attracts the man of character, because it is in embracing it that he realizes himself. China is a big country, inhabited by many Chinese. Adversity attracts the man of character. He seeks out the bitter joy of responsibility. Genius sometimes consists of knowing when to stop. Betting against gold is the same as betting on governments. He who bets on governments and government money bets against 6,000 years of recorded human history never relinquish the initiative. Authority doesn't work without prestige, or prestige without distance. For glory gives herself only to those who have always dreamed of her. There can be no other criterion, no other standard than gold. Yes, gold, which never changes, which can be shaped into ingots, bars, coins, which has no nationality and which is eternally and universally accepted as the unalterable fiduciary value par. Excellence. Victory often goes to the army that makes the least mistakes, not the most brilliant plans. The desire of privilege and the taste of equality are the dominant and contradictory passions of the French of all times.